This video is about she sat inside the university library and a billionaire handed her an umbrella. If this story touches your heart, please mention where you are watching from in the comments. Please like the video and share your thoughts and comments. The scent of old books enveloped Lena as she nestled deeper into the worn armchair at the back of the university library. Torn shelves, laden with history, whispered stories she longed to uncover. The dim light slanted through the tall windows, casting warm pulls on her open textbook, where notes sprawled like the chaotic thoughts in her head. Lena glanced up, pushing a stray strand of hair behind her ear, her fingers absent-mindedly tracing a coffee ring on the page. There was a sudden comfort in this solitude, a respite from the social world that often suffocated her. She loved the way the library felt, a sanctuary where time held still and expectations faded away like the fading light of day. As she flipped the page, a shadow fell over her. Startled, she looked up to see a man standing before her, tall and confident, with an air of authority that seemed almost palpable. His dark hair was tousled in a way that hinted at a certain wealth of carelessness, and his tailored suit clung to him like an armor, polished and powerful. "Excuse me," he said, his voice smooth like fine whiskey. "I couldn't help but notice you've been here for a while. I thought I'd check if you needed a break from all this." He gestured to her half-finished coffee and the books sprawled around her. Lena blinked, her mind racing, caught off guard by his directness. I am fine, thanks, just studying," she replied, her voice steadier than she felt. She couldn't help but notice how his striking blue eyes seemed to hold a depth that drew her in. He chuckled softly, the sound rich and inviting. "Studying, or escaping the chaos of the outside world? I can't blame you for the latter. It is pouring out there." He pointed vaguely toward the large windows, where rain lashed against the glass like frantic fingertips. "Maybe a bit of both," Lena admitted, allowing a small smile to creep onto her lips. "It is a good day to hide away with a stack of textbooks and a cup of coffee. Or to hide away with a good friend," he suggested, a teasing glint in his eyes. "How about I join you? I could use a break from my own chaos." Before Lena could respond, he pulled out the chair across from her and sat down, a casual confidence in his movement that both intrigued and unnerved her. She hesitated, unsure of the sudden shift in her carefully crafted bubble of solitude. "I am Jason, by the way," he said, extending a hand. "And you are?" "Lena," she replied, shaking his hand, which felt surprisingly warm against her cool skin. His grip was firm, and a spark of electricity flickered between them, sending an unexpected jolt through her. "Lena," he repeated, savoring her name like a fine wine. "I am intrigued already. What is your major?" "Political science," she said, her tone shifting into academic mode. "I am hoping to delve into international relations after graduation. It is complicated, but fascinating." Jason nodded, genuinely interested. "So you're really planning on stepping into the storm then? That is brave. Most people run the other way." "Maybe I am a bit of a masochist," she joked, trying to lighten the mood. "Or maybe I just want to change the world in my own small way." "Ambitious," he mused, his gaze piercing through her. "I admire that. I like ambition. It feels passion, doesn't it?" Lena felt herself blush under his scrutiny. "What about you? What is your story? You don't seem like a typical university student." He chuckled, a deep sound that resonated within her. "You're right, I am not. I dropped out a few years ago to focus on my business. I got lucky, and now I am kind of, well, I guess you could say I am a billionaire." Lena felt a mixture of awe and apprehension swell within her. That is impressive, but also a bit intimidating. He leaned closer, a playful grin dancing on his lips. "Don't be intimidated. I promise. I am just a regular guy who enjoys a good book and a decent conversation, especially with someone like you." "Someone like me?" Lena raised an eyebrow, her heart racing at the implications of his words. "What does that mean?" Jason paused, and for a heartbeat, the air between them thickened with unspoken thoughts. "It means I find you intriguing, and I appreciate your perspective. It is refreshing." Just then, a loud clap of thunder made Lena jump, and she instinctively tucked a strand of hair behind her ear again, as if to regain her composure. "Guess I am going to be stuck here for a while longer," she said, trying to dismiss the tension that had built up between them. "Looks like it," he replied, his gaze unwavering. "Do you mind if I stay?" "Not at all," Lena said, her voice more confident now. "But just so you know, I am a bit of a distraction when I am studying." "I can handle distractions," he said with a playful smirk. "Besides, I'd rather be here with you than stuck in my office. Tell me, what do you think about the current political climate?" She launched into a heated discussion about recent events, her passion for the subject firing her words, and Jason listened intently. She could feel his gaze boring into her, the way he leaned forward, hanging on every word, igniting something deep within her. The conversation flowed easily, weaving between intellectual debates and moments of light-hearted banter. Each laugh they shared felt like a thread binding them closer. Hours slipped by unnoticed until the clock on the wall chimed and reality began to set in. "I should probably head out," Jason said reluctantly, glancing at the rain-soaked window. "But before I do..." He hesitated, reaching into his pocket. "Here, take this." He handed her a sleek black umbrella, its fabric catching the dim light. "I couldn't let you walk out into that storm unprotected." "Oh, I can take this," Lena protested, feeling a flutter in her chest. "It's too generous." "Consider it a loan," he replied, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "You can return it next time we..." "Next time," she echoed, her heart racing at the implication of his words. "Only if you want," he said, his expression shifting to something more serious, vulnerable even. "I'd like to see you again, Lena. I think you special." Lena's breath caught in her throat. There was something undeniably magnetic about him, a pull she couldn't quite understand, but deeply felt. "I'd like that too," she whispered, surprising herself with her own honesty. He smiled, a genuine warmth spreading across his face, and her heart fluttered. "Then it's a date. I'll text you, and we can figure out a time." "All right," Lena managed to reply, her mind racing. As he stood to leave, their fingers brushed, and an electric current surged through her. "Take care," he said, a hint of mischief in his eyes as he stepped back, a lingering gaze before he turned to leave. Lena watched him go, the weight of the umbrella heavy in her hand, a reminder of their unexpected encounter. She was left with the taste of possibility on her lips and a heart that raced uncertainly in her chest, wondering what the next chapter would hold. Lena sat in the library long after Jason had left, the comforting smell of old books swelling around her like a warm embrace. She absent-mindedly flipped through her textbook, but found her mind wandering. The rain continued to pour outside, rhythmic and relentless, matching the thumping of her heart. She glanced at the umbrella resting beside her, the sleek design a stark contrast to the chaos swelling within her thoughts. It felt silly how just one encounter with a handsome billionaire could leave her so flustered. She bit her lip, recalling his charming smile and the way he had leaned in closer, making the world outside fade into insignificance. Could she really get close to someone like him? The question nagged at her. She pushed her sweater sleeves up, a distraction from the questions that buzzed in her mind. Maybe it was all a fluke. Wealthy men like him didn't usually mingle with students. But there was a flicker of excitement that shot through her at the thought of seeing him again. With a sigh, she stood up and carefully tucked the umbrella under her arm. She packed her books away and made her way towards the library exit, her mind still buzzing with thoughts of Jason. Outside, the rain had lessened to a soft drizzle, making the world shimmer with droplets on leaves and pavement. As she stepped into the chill of the evening air, her phone buzzed in her pocket. Her heart raced as she fished it out, hope fluttering in her chest. The screen lit up with Jason's name, and she felt a thrill of anticipation. **K Lena, I hope you made it home okay. I meant what I said about you being special. Let's grab coffee this week. What do you think? ***. Her fingers hovered over the screen, heart racing as she considered her response. She wanted to keep it light, but also convey her excitement. After a moment's hesitation, she typed out a reply. ***, I made it home. Coffee sounds great. How about Thursday? ***. She hit send and felt a wave of relief wash over her. She couldn't believe this was happening. As she walked home, the possibilities danced in her mind. She could already imagine them sitting in a cozy cafe, air thick with the aroma of coffee and pastries, laughter flowing between them like a sweet melody. The next few days were a maelstrom of anticipation and anxiety. Lena found it hard to focus on her studies. Her mind kept wandering back to Jason, his voice, his laughter, the way he made her feel seen in a world that often felt overwhelming. She replayed the conversation in her head, dissecting every word, every smile, and every hint of flirtation. When Thursday finally arrived, she spent an inordinate amount of time trying to decide what to wear. Her closet was a chaotic mix of casual and dressy, but nothing felt quite right. After several changes, she finally settled on a cozy sweater that hugged her figure just right, paired with dark jeans that accentuated her shape, and a pair of ankle boots that gave her a bit of confidence. As she made her way to the cafe, the familiar nerves bubbled in her stomach. What if he didn't find her attractive? What if she embarrassingly stumbled over her words? She fought against her doubts, reminding herself that he had been drawn to her intellect, her passion. Arriving at the cafe, she pushed the door open, the scent of freshly brewed coffee enveloping her in warmth. The place was bustling with students and professionals alike, laughter and chatter filling the air. She spotted Jason in a corner, his dark hair tousled as he leaned back in his chair, a casual elegance about him that made her heart flip. He looked up as she approached, and his face broke into a genuine smile that lit up his entire demeanor. "Lena, you look amazing," he said, standing to pull out her chair. "Thanks," she replied, cheeks warming at the compliment. She settled into her seat, and he leaned forward, a glimmer of mischief in his eyes. "I was beginning to wonder if you'd stand me up." "Not a chance," she assured him, her pulse quickening as their knees brushed beneath the table. "I've been looking forward to this all week." "Me too," he said, his voice low and inviting, sending warmth pooling in her stomach. He signaled to the barista, who approached with a friendly smile. "What can I get you?" After ordering a caramel macchiato, Lena settled back, the initial nervousness giving way to comforting ease. They fell into conversation, discussing everything from their favorite books to their thoughts on the latest political events. Lena found herself laughing more than she had in a long time, the tension ebbing away like the rain from earlier. "Do you believe in love at first sight?" Jason asked suddenly, his gaze piercing yet softened by curiosity. She paused, caught off guard. I think it can happen," she replied slowly. "But I also believe it takes more than just a moment to truly know someone." He nodded, his expression contemplative. "True, but sometimes those first moments linger, don't they?" Lena swallowed hard, her heart thumping louder. "They can," she admitted, meeting his gaze. Just then, a group of her classmates entered the cafe, their raucous laughter echoing through the space. Lena's stomach twisted as she recognized them, particularly Todd, the guy who had often teased her in class. She had always brushed it off, but the sight of him now stirred an uncomfortable inkling of doubt. "Hey, Lena," Todd called, waving as he approached their table with his friends in tow. "What are you doing here, studying?" Lena forced a smile, trying to shake off the embarrassment. "Just grabbing coffee with a friend," she replied, glancing at Jason for support. She could feel Todd's eyes lingering on Jason, sizing him up. "Oh, nice," Todd said, his tone a mix of surprise and judgment. "You've upgraded from studying in the library. This guy is, what, your tutor?" Jason's expression flickered, annoyance creeping in, but he maintained his composure. "Not quite. I prefer the term admirer of intellect," he replied smoothly, his eyes narrowing slightly as he met Todd's gaze. "Oh, is that so?" Todd smirked, and his friends joined in, laughter echoing off the walls. Lena felt heat rising to her cheeks, embarrassment washing over her like a wave. Let Lena enjoy her coffee," one of Todd's friends chimed in, clearly trying to diffuse the tension. "Catch you later, Lena." As they walked away, Lena felt a mixture of relief and frustration. She shot Jason an apologetic look. "I am sorry about that. They can be really obnoxious. It is just Todd being well taught." He raised an eyebrow, a hint of amusement in his eyes. "I didn't take it personally, but I can't help but wonder about your connection with him." Lena felt her heart drop slightly, uncertainty creeping in. "There is nothing there. He is just an annoying classmate who thinks he can get a rise out of me," she said, the defensiveness slipping into her tone. Jason's expression softened, and he leaned in closer. "Good to know. I'd rather focus on you, anyway." His gaze held hers, filled with sincerity, and she felt the heat of their earlier connection reignite, the tension thickening in the air. "Speaking of that," he continued, breaking the moment, "I've been working on a project that could use some insight from someone with your expertise. Would you be interested?" Lena's pulse quickened at the prospect of collaborating on something significant. "Absolutely. What is it about?" He launched into a passionate explanation, his excitement infectious, and soon they were lost in their own world, laughter and ideas flowing effortlessly. The earlier awkwardness faded away, and even the shadows of doubt began to lift. As the evening wore on, the cafe dimmed, the lights softening around them. Lena realized how much she had come to enjoy Jason's company. It was like an uncharted territory, thrilling and terrifying all at once. She felt a connection deeper than she had anticipated, a spark of something that felt like a promise. When he finally leaned across the table, his voice low, filled with sincerity, she barely breathed. "Lena, I really want to know you better, not just the surface-level stuff." Her heart raced, a rush of emotions flooding her senses. "I want that too," she whispered, surprised by the honesty that spilled from her lips. Just then, the barista approached, breaking the spell. "Last call, folks," he said cheerfully. Jason chuckled lightly, and Lena felt a flutter of apprehension mixed with excitement. "Looks like we're going to have to pick this up another time," he said, a hint of challenge in his tone. "Definitely," she replied, her heart pounding at the thought of their next meeting. As they stood to leave, the air crackled with unspoken words. Their fingers brushed again as they walked towards the door, lingering for just a moment longer than necessary. "Take the umbrella," she blurted out suddenly, her cheeks flushing again as she handed it to him. "I can have you getting soaked." He grinned, taking it from her. "Only if you promise to meet me again soon," he said, his voice teasing yet earnest. "A deal," she replied, feeling a rush of warmth. As she, Lena, walked home through the drizzle, the air thick with an anticipation she could hardly contain. Thoughts of Jason filled her mind, a swirling mix of excitement and uncertainty. The coffee date had exceeded her expectations, his laughter, his keen intellect, the way he seemed genuinely interested in her thoughts. And yet, Todd's unexpected appearance echoed in her mind. She shook her head, trying to dismiss the nagging doubts. Did Jason see her differently now because of that encounter? As she stepped into her small apartment, the warmth enveloped her, a stark contrast to the cool evening air. She tossed her damp bag onto a chair and flopped onto her couch, letting out a sigh. She picked up her phone, half expecting a message from Jason, her heart fluttering at the thought. But the screen remained stubbornly blank. With a frown, she opened her textbook, attempting to immerse herself in the world of political theory. But the words blurred before her eyes, and the ideas danced just out of reach. Her mind was too busy replaying Jason's smile, the way his eyes sparkled when he spoke about his project, and the warmth of his lean across the table. She reminded herself that they were from two different worlds. A billionaire and a college student, what did they even have in common besides a shared coffee table? Doubts crept in like shadows, whispering fears of inadequacy. She stretched her legs out on the couch, trying to shake off the worries. Just then, her phone buzzed, jolting her from her thoughts. It was a text from Jason. **K Lena. I had a great time today. Do you want to meet up this weekend? I'd love to continue our conversation. ***. Her heart raced as she read the message, an involuntary grin spread across her face. The doubts faded away for the moment, replaced by a thrill of possibility. ***, I'd love that. How about Saturday afternoon? ***. Within moments, Jason replied. Perfect. I know a great little gallery downtown. We can grab coffee afterward. ***. Prospect of meeting him filled her with excitement, yet annoying feeling of uncertainty returned. What if he changed his mind? What if he realized she wasn't the person he thought she was? She shook her head, willing herself to push those thoughts away. She chose to focus on the upcoming Saturday, the promise it held. Saturday arrived, and Lena spent the morning pacing her apartment, trying to calm her nerves. She chose a flowy green dress that hugged her in all the right places, a hint of flirtation without being overly provocative. As she examined herself in the mirror, she practiced a smile. "Okay, you've got this," she whispered to her reflection, drawing in a deep breath. "Just be yourself." When she arrived at the gallery, the excitement coursing through her felt electric. The rain had cleared, leaving behind a fresh, vibrant world. The sun shone brightly, casting a golden hue over everything. She stepped inside, the cool air of the gallery wrapping around her like a gentle embrace. Jason was already there, leaning against a wall, his presence commanding yet relaxed. He looked even better than she remembered, his hair slightly tousled, a fitted blazer that highlighted his broad shoulders. The moment he saw her, a smile broke across his face, and her heart skipped a beat. "Lena, you look stunning," he said, his voice warm and genuine as he approached her. "Thanks, you clean up pretty well yourself," she replied, the blush creeping to her cheeks. "Shall we?" He gestured toward the exhibits, and Lena felt a flutter of anticipation. They wandered through the gallery, discussing the pieces, the artists, and what emotions they conjured. Jason's insights were sharp and thought-provoking, igniting a spark in her own thoughts. She felt herself relaxing, the tension from before melting away as they shared laughter and stories. "This one reminds me of the complexities of human relationships," he said, gesturing toward a striking painting of intertwined figures. "It's chaotic, yet beautiful, don't you think?" "Exactly, it captures that delicate balance," Lena replied, her voice infused with enthusiasm. "Relationships can be messy, but they're also what make life worthwhile." Jason met her gaze, his expression thoughtful. "You have a remarkable perspective, Lena. It's refreshing to talk to someone who really thinks about these things." As they moved to the next piece, Jason paused, a glint of mischief in his eyes. What do you think about the artist's choice of colors here? Lena examined the vibrant hues, feeling the energy radiating from the canvas. I think they reflect a sense of hope amidst chaos, she said, her voice steady. It is like a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there is potential for beauty. He leaned closer, his breath warm against her ear as he whispered, "You have a way of seeing things that draws me in, it is almost intoxicating." Lena felt warmth rush to her cheeks, a mix of flattery and intrigue swelling within her. "Maybe I should start charging for my opinions," she joked, trying to mask the intensity of their connection. He chuckled, his eyes sparkling. "I do pay for that. I do pay a lot to hear your thoughts." Just then, a couple strolled by, their laughter ringing in the air like wind chimes. Lena felt a pang of self-consciousness wash over her. She could see their eyes darting toward Jason, recognition flickering in their gaze. The whispers and sidelong glances made her stomach twist. "Let us step outside for a moment," Jason suggested, as if sensing her discomfort. They moved to the gallery's entrance, the sun pouring cool light over them. "Everything okay?" he asked, concern knitting his brow. "Yeah, just I didn't think about how people might react to you being here," she admitted, the insecurity creeping in again. "It is like they see the billionaire and forget I am even a person." Jason's expression softened, and he reached out, his fingers brushing against hers. "What do you care what they think? I am here with you, and that's what matters." Lena felt a thrill race through her, the warmth of his hand anchoring her. "I know, but it is hard to shake off the feeling of being judged. I don't want to be a curiosity or a trophy." "Lena, you are neither of those things. You are remarkable on your own. I am drawn to you, not the image of what you represent," he said, his voice steady and sincere. The intensity in his gaze sent her heart racing, and for a moment, time felt suspended. "I want to believe that," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. He stepped closer, his expression earnest. "Then believe it. Let me show you that it is real." The moment felt charged, a current of emotion swirling between them. But just as Lena opened her mouth to respond, her phone buzzed in her pocket, cutting through the tension. She fumbled for it, her heart sinking a little as she saw it was a group text from her classmates teasingly asking about her date with the billionaire. Jason raised an eyebrow, noticing the shift in her demeanor. "You okay?" "Just some classmates," she replied, forcing a smile, though her heart felt heavy with the weight of judgment. "It is nothing." He studied her, the warmth in his eyes dimming slightly. "You know, I can be a distraction from all that if you want. I don't mind the attention." Lena shook her head, frustration bubbling up inside her. "It is not about the attention. It is about how they see me, how they think of me as less because of who you are." Jason's expression hardened slightly, a flicker of something she couldn't quite place in his eyes. "So we were going to let them define our connection. You are so much more than that, Lena." She opened her mouth to protest, but the sudden tension hung thick in the air, her heart pounding in her chest. "I am sorry. Maybe we should just enjoy the rest of the day," he suggested, his voice softening but edged with an uncharacteristic coolness. "Let us not let anyone take away from what we have here." Lena felt a pang of disappointment, the moment slipping through her fingers like grains of sand. "I do like that," she replied, forcing a smile, but the joy was muted. She could feel the fragile thread of understanding they had built begin to fray. As they returned inside, she tried to shake off the tension, but it lingered in the air like a stubborn fog. They moved through the gallery, discussing the art, but the conversations felt different now, more guarded, tinged with a hint of unspoken conflict. As they stepped outside after their visit, the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the pavement. Jason paused, turning to her, his expression earnest. "Lena, I really do want you to know how special you are to me. I can't help but feel connected to you, and I want to explore that more." Her heart fluttered, the sincerity in his words cutting through the awkwardness they had just faced. "I want that too," she admitted, her voice low yet strong. I don't want the noise around us to drown it out." Jason took a step closer, his eyes searching hers. Lena felt the weight of Jason's gaze as they stood on the street corner, the sun dipping low and casting a warm golden hue over the bustling city. The evening air held an electric charge, but beneath it lingered the remnants of the tension from earlier. "Let us walk for a bit," Jason suggested, his tone light despite the heaviness in the air. He offered her his arm, and without thinking, she slipped her hand through the crook, feeling the warmth radiate from him. They strolled down the street, the sounds of the city wrapping around them like a familiar blanket. Lena focused on the rhythm of their footsteps, trying to shake off the lingering doubt from their other conversation. Would he really see her for who she was, or would the shadows of judgment cloud that connection? You ever wonder how art reflects our lives? Jason asked, breaking the silence, his voice steady and inviting. Like how our experiences shape our perceptions. Absolutely, Lena replied, grateful for the shift in topic. Art can be such a mirror. It shows not just what we see, but how we feel, our hopes, fears, everything. It's like telling our stories without words. Jason's eyes sparkled with interest. Exactly, that painting with the intertwined figures. It made me think about how we all connected, even when we don't realize it. Lena nodded, feeling a warmth spread through her as he spoke. Right, that is about the relationships we form, the chaos we sometimes endure, but also the beauty that comes from it. He turned to look at her, a slight smile playing on his lips. Exactly, you were so insightful, Lena. It is refreshing. Thank you, she replied, her heart fluttering at the compliment. But I am just sharing my thoughts. They were not always profound. They are to me, Jason insisted, his tone earnest. You have a unique perspective that I find incredibly attractive. Lena felt her cheeks flush at his compliment, but she quickly shifted her thoughts back to the conversation. So, do you use art in your business? I mean, it seems like a powerful way to convey ideas. Sometimes, he admitted, his expression turning thoughtful. I believe in the importance of storytelling not just in business, but in life. It is how we connect with others. As they walked, their conversation flowed effortlessly, navigating from art to business to personal anecdotes. Each moment felt significant, yet the earlier tension still hovered in her mind like a cloud. She could feel it lingering, a reminder of how easily things could shift. Tell me something you're passionate about outside of politics, he said, glancing sideways at her as they approached a small park. The soft rustle of leaves filled the air, and he slowed his pace, pulling her a bit closer to him. Lena considered for a moment. I love writing. It as a way to express myself, to explore different viewpoints, and create stories that might resonate with others. Are you working on anything right now? Jason asked, genuinely interested. Just some personal pieces, she replied, a hint of shyness creeping into her voice. Nothing I want to share just yet. Why not? He pressed, his gaze steady. Your voice deserves to be heard, Lena. She shifted slightly, a wave of self-doubt washing over her. It is just sometimes I feel like I am not enough. What if it is not good enough? Don't sell yourself short, he said firmly, his expression softening. You have a gift, trust me. When you share your words, they'll all resonate with people. Lena felt a warmth bloom in her chest, his belief in her igniting a flicker of confidence. Thank you, Jason, that means a lot. He smiled, and she noticed how his eyes crinkled at the corners, a sign of genuine delight. But just as she began to feel at ease, her mind wandered back to the earlier encounter with Todd. Would Jason still feel the same way about her after hearing the whispers of her classmates? Do you have any siblings? She asked, eager to change the subject but also to learn more about him. An older brother, he replied, his expression turning more serious. He is a brilliant strategist, works with me on some projects, but he has always been the one with the clear path. I was always more of the rebel. That sounds interesting, Lena replied, intrigued. What do you mean by rebel? Jason chuckled softly, running a hand through his tousled hair. I've always been the one who questions everything. I dropped out of college to pursue my own path, and I think it shocked my family a bit. Was it worth it? She asked, curiosity piqued. Definitely, but it came with its own set of challenges, he admitted, his voice dropping to a more reflective tone. It is lonely at the top sometimes. People see you as a success, but they don't understand the sacrifices made along the way. Lena felt her heart ache for him. That must be hard, she said softly. But it is also brave to take those risks. He met her gaze, and for a moment the world around them faded. I appreciate that you see it that way. Not many do. Just then, a playful breeze swept through the park, stirring the fallen leaves around their feet. Lena felt a thrill as it reminded her of their earlier conversations, the chemistry that crackled between them. Let us sit for a moment, Jason suggested, motioning to a nearby bench. As they settled onto the wooden slats, Lena felt the warmth radiating from him, the energy between them palpable. What about you? Jason asked, curiosity dancing in his eyes. Do you have a dream you were chasing? Lena hesitated, the question pulling her back into her thoughts. I want to make a difference, maybe work for a non-profit, help with policy changes, but sometimes I wonder if I am just chasing a fantasy. Why do you think that? Jason asked, tilting his head slightly, a look of genuine concern in his eyes. Because it feels so far away, she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. Sometimes I think I am just a student with big ideas, and reality is so far from that. Billionaire, you're already making a difference, he assured her, a fierce intensity in his gaze. Don't underestimate the impact you can have, even from where you are now. The passion in his words reignited something deep within her. You really believe that? She asked, hope threading through her voice. More than anything, he replied, his voice steady and unwavering. You just have to keep pushing forward, even when it feels daunting, and I'll be here to support you. Lena swallowed hard, his words wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. Thank you, Jason. I don't know what I'd do without your encouragement. He smiled, and for a fleeting moment, everything felt perfect. But as his expression softened, she felt a flicker of uncertainty. Can I ask you something? She ventured, her heart racing. Of course, he said, a hint of curiosity in his eyes. Do you feel like you were living life on your terms? She asked, searching his gaze for the truth behind his facade. He paused, the question hanging in the air. Sometimes, but there are days I feel like I am just going through the motions. Other people's expectations can weigh heavily, you know? Lena nodded, feeling an unexpected bond form between them. I get that. It's like we were both trying to carve out our own narratives in a world that wants to define us. Exactly, he replied, his voice slow and contemplative. But it's important to stay true to yourself, even when it is hard. As their eyes locked, a moment of vulnerability passed between them, a silent acknowledgement of the struggles they faced. The air thickened with unspoken words, and Lena felt the tension rise, a magnetic pull that drew her closer to him. Jason, she started, her heart racing. But just then her phone buzzed again, slicing through the moment. She cursed under her breath, glancing at the screen to see another group text, this time more teasing comments about her date with the billionaire. Everything okay? Jason asked, his brow furrowed slightly as he noticed her expression shift. Just some more messages, she replied, trying to hide her frustration. It is nothing serious. Lena, he said gently, his eyes searching hers. You can talk to me about anything. I know, it is just I don't want to let their opinions affect what we have. I don't want this to turn into some kind of spectacle, she explained, her voice shaky. Jason took a deep breath, his gaze steady. Let them talk. What matters is how we feel, not their judgments. She met his gaze, feeling the warmth of his words wash over her. You were right, it is just hard to keep that in mind sometimes. He nodded, leaning in slightly, their faces inches apart. Then let us make a promise, to focus on each other, to not let anyone else define us. I do like that, she whispered, their breaths mingling in the cool evening air. In that moment, the world around them faded away, the teasing classmates, the